it's Melissa. Happy Wednesday. I hope you are all having a fabulous week so far. Today I am here with my Silhouette CAMEO Pro 24-inch CAMEO Pro, which if you have it and you love the idea of it, but you hate loading it, I got a hack for you today. So one of the big issues that we hear about a lot is that it is difficult, challenging at best, to load the CAMEO 4 Pro with material, specifically when you want to cut without a mat. And the reason really is because a lot of material that it works in the Pro, whether it's 24-inch or 20-inch or, did I already say that? 20, 24, 15-inch, lined materials like vinyl, heat transfer vinyl, what ends up happening is they come in a roll, and so the end is curled. And so it makes it challenging to not only load in here because the edge of the material is rolled up, but also because it has such a long 24-inch loading area, it's just challenging to like hold it all and make sure that you're getting all kind of out of whack. The problem is if you don't load your vinyl straight, when I say vinyl, I mean vinyl or heat transfer vinyl. If you don't load it straight, it's not going to continue to roll in straight while you are working, and that can cause your cuts to be off. So it is key. It is really, really, really important to have good cuts for you to load the material straight. So here's a hack. Now, I'm going to tell you that you need mat. I typically would tell you not to use the mat, but the reason that you want to use the mat specifically for loading is because it is going to help you load straight, but then you're going to remove the mat. This is very tricky. This is why this is a hack, okay? All right, so what we're going to do, I have my 24-inch machine here, and I have my 24-inch mat here. I'm going to turn this so I have a little bit of room and I can work right here so you guys can see. Just give me a second to rearrange this. All right, and then I will kind of show you how this works. So we have the mat, obviously. I don't know why this tape is here. And the mat is more rigid, and so it doesn't have that problem with the edge curling up. So what's really nice is it will allow us to load it in straight. So we are going to take our material, and we are going to, you see how it has the edge here? I'm going to pull you over here so you can see. If you're watching this later, this is being done live. I do my videos live. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put the edge of the material on the bottom inch or two of the cutting mat. This is the 24-inch Pro cutting mat. So I'm going to put the edge, the margin here along the margin of the mat. And I'm going to try to line up along that 22-inch block, okay? So this is going to help me load. Now it also, what we have here, first of all, is a problem that this material is not straight. So let's see, the other edge is more straight. So we'll use the other edge, okay? So first you need a straight edge on your material. That's key too. All right, so we'll line it up, and we're using the line on the mat to make sure that the material is loaded. Now you're like, why are you loading this material way down here? Okay, there's a method to my madness, okay? So now the material is on there, on this mat, okay? So now what I'm gonna do is I can load this into the machine. So let's see, get this one out of the way, we don't need that. What we're gonna do is I'll pull this over here so you can see it. Okay, so now it's much easier to load the machine when I have the mat. So I'm going to use the load button. The load button gives you the opportunity to hold both sides of the mat, and then when the mat is covering this little square sensor, it will automatically pull it in, okay? But this is going to allow us to line this up. I'm also going to put this down here because that's closer to where the edge of my material is. All right, so I'm going to press load. It's going to flash. You see nothing is happening. Now I can load my mat straight. Okay, now you're like, okay, but your material is like nowhere near where you need to be. Correct. So now what you're going to do is you're going to press this bottom, there's the 4 square button here, or the 4 arrows, you're gonna press the bottom button. The bottom button controls the carriage. So when you're pressing it down, you're telling you want the carriage to move down. So watch what happens. I'm gonna do this slowly. Okay, now, this is loading in straight because this is rolling through straight because this was loaded straight. I don't like it to go too fast. Okay? Especially as it starts going through. Don't let it go too fast. Okay, so the vinyl is starting to go through. And now, when the vinyl comes through, and the mat is completely out, I'm actually going to remove the mat, okay? Because we don't need this extra weight. So now, my vinyl is loaded. Do you see how this is curling? That's the problem. That is why when you're trying to load the Cameo 4, I'm gonna put it on this side so it holds it down, but when you're trying to load the Cameo 4, you have trouble loading it straight because of this curled edge. So, now you can't even see me at all. My suggestion, my little hack to you, is to put the first 2 inches of the vinyl on the bottom 2 inches of the 24-inch cutting mat and load it in that way, as you saw. And then you can peel the mat off, or peel the vinyl up, or whatever, and your material is loaded straight, okay? So in Silhouette Studio, you're gonna tell it that you're cutting on a 24 or 20, whatever, however wide your material is, but you're gonna say no mat, because you're not cutting with a mat. Now, one thing that you do need to be aware of with this is that in Silhouette Studio, you are gonna end up, you can put your design at the very top because it thinks that it's accounting for the margin. You will end up with a little bit of wasted space at the top because the material has already been pulled through. So once you send it to cut, it will begin cutting, but it's not gonna cut right at the top like it would if you were using a mat or if you were just loading the material like you normally would, okay? But if you wanna keep your vinyl straight when you're cutting with the Cameo Pro, you wanna make sure it's not shifting all around, the key, the absolute key is to make sure that it is loaded straight from the beginning, and that way it will keep it straight. My other suggestion, I'm just gonna throw in one last tip there for you, is if you are cutting off a roll, like a big cord roll, that adds a lot of weight to your machine. So make sure that you cut off, or give a slack at the very least, cut off what you need. I would suggest that you probably not cut more than, I don't know, 5 feet at a time if you can help it. Of course it can, but your risk is higher if you can. So if you don't have a single design, if you have something that, you know, is like multiples of something, like you have to do 15 shirts or something, just break them into sections and do smaller sections at a time, maybe like 3 feet or 5 feet instead of 15 all at once. Because what you don't want to do is it start to shift as you are like on foot number 12, and then your whole thing is messed up. Okay? All right, you guys, I hope you learned a little something. If you're interested in getting a Cameo 4 Pro 24-inch cutter, the only 24-inch cutter that can work with Silhouette Studio so that you don't have to relearn a new software program, you can go ahead and grab that. They come in bundles, or they come in just the machine itself with of course swing throws and a whole bunch of other extras and things like that. So, but I threw the links up top for you. Those are in stock right now, so go ahead and grab it if you want. And of course, all of my Silhouette Studio tutorials all still apply since you use the same software. All right, see you guys.